It's Thursday, October 7th, 2021 at 7:59 a.m. here locally in southern Arizona. This is the TheOneHiraethProject's DiaryCast number 8, entitled Another Type of Currency. In reviewing my notes that I've taken for the last week before I went out on my walk to kind of mull over and contemplate what happened in the past 7 days, I kind of blew my own mind because last Friday, which was the 1st of October, I had done a quick tarot spread. I was moved to do so. And afterwards, I went into like a short meditation to kind of soak in and expand upon, in a Lectio Divina kind of way, what I found there. So in my notes, what I had done was just take some quick bullet points of what the spread meant to me. I didn't do a complete analysis or anything because I just wanted to sketch them out really quickly so that when I came back to it, knowing I would today, that I would be able to look at the spread, because I took a picture of it, and look at these notes, and they would remind me of what I had seen in that spread. And to be perfectly honest, looking at that photo as I did, I cannot see where I got the things that I wrote here, except the final line, which I'll explain in a moment. So here's exactly what I wrote. 10/1/21 a.m. Reading, in parentheses, see spread in backup folder. Next line, friend you can trust 44. Next line, just a week plus away, ... In parentheses, I ask, what is a week away? Close parens. Next line, you manifest your synchronicities, period. End of story, period. Next line, prepare to have your mind blown. Next line, bring genuine connection and fun into your life, exclamation point. Next line, through VPN, parens, virtual private network, close parens. Next line, recommended for you, all in caps, your path. Next line. And then I have in quotes, free it all, comma, queen, end quote. And those are my notes. Now, the last line, free it all, queen, is a reference to the Queen of Rods card in this deck. And I can't for the life of me right now remember what the name of this deck is. But the rest of it, I cannot relate to the cards that I see there. And if I was reading those cards today, I would have gotten a completely different impression simply because what I wrote for then and what I see now, being that they're two different points in time, are completely different. I'm going into the room to see if I can get the name of that deck just so that y'all can have it. The LightSeers Tarot. So if you want to look up any of the cards in that photo, which I will leave a link for in the description of this video, and then go to Google and Google LightSeers Tarot and then the name of that card, you'll be able to see it more closely if you wish to. Now, what blows my mind is that actually happened in spades. All the notes I took last week, which I won't go into, have to do with the equivalent of interstellar or interdimensional connecting. And I looked up both of those words, and I even Googled at one point, I recall, what's the difference between those two? Because I got them as distinctly unique, and I didn't really know why, so I looked them up. So what happened? What happened had just occurred yesterday. In brief, I am about to move to my next location. I'm a traveler, and I spend several months in one location and then go to the next, and have been doing this off and on, more on than off, since 2015 in the spring. And the last 2 years, it will be 2 years on the 19th of December, I will have been doing this exactly, nothing, all traveling and no stopping for 2 years in full. And it's interesting because when I got the nudge in November to, I got the equivalent of it's time to go. You've got to go. And I got it over and over and over to the point where I had to, go for long walks and free my mind and turn off any media because I couldn't stop the flow of information telling me I had to go. And I didn't know why. It didn't make sense to me, but it did make sense in mid-December. And I made my plans and I left. And interestingly enough, a month later, COVID hit. And I wasn't even really aware of it until March. And I was only aware of it because I was helping a friend at that time move house in Santa Rosa, California, to a place called Healdsburg. And she was, like a news junkie. So she was keeping me informed. And of course, I went to the grocery store and the toilet paper shelves, the paper product shelf was always empty. And it used to make me laugh. And they began to have those lines. And then they said, they mandated masks. And it just, went crazy from there. I even took 2 planes during that time. One from California to Dallas, and then on from Dallas to Santa Fe. And then I left several months later from Santa Fe to go to Tucson. And on the plane from Santa Rosa to Dallas, there were only 4 people plus me. That's it, in the entire plane. And my trip had been changed 3 times in as many days leading up to it because they needed to try and have a flight with enough people to make it viable. And then my trip from Dallas to Santa Fe, I think only had 5 people plus me. And when I got to Dallas, they basically forced me to sign a piece of paper that said that I would put myself in quarantine until my flight. And it was 3 military men who were calling as each passenger was getting off the plane. Is this their final destination? Is this their final destination? And they would make us answer. And I said, no, but I'm leaving tomorrow for my next flight. And each person who gave an answer like, yes, this is my final destination, or like I stupidly did, they literally guided us to another location and wouldn't let us leave until we filled out this form and signed it. I was very uncomfortable, but that's a whole nother story. So I've been traveling and I'm about to leave again. I have 3 different locations that I could go to. One was in Wyoming, in the mountains, or let's say at the base of a mountain. One was in Northern California for a 4.5-month house sit for 2 dogs, a cat, and about a dozen chickens, which I was very much looking forward to the possibility of. And the third was staying at an Airbnb in a place called Langlois, Oregon. So Langlois, Oregon is, or Langlois, depending on how you pronounce it. The locals call it Langlois, but everyone else calls it Langlois, is ultimately where I decided to go. But the reason I did was interesting.